So here in Premiere Pro and Photoshop, we're going to have a look at how we make an animated GIF and how we make that animated GIF loop. Now, there's a few skills we're going to cover in here. One is how to make a selection that will loop well, and the other is how to stabilize that footage and then to kind of get this seamless loop. So basically, what we're looking for here is to grab a piece of footage, and we've got one selected up here. You don't need to be super precise. There's a little bit of give and take. So basically, we've got this skateboarder from this old footage, and he's going around almost in a 360 circle. So what we're going to do is stabilize this and then get this to loop in a almost seamless way, and then we'll turn that into an animated GIF in Adobe Photoshop. So the first thing we've done is marked our in and out points here. So either using the buttons here to mark an in point and an out point, and we only need the video for this. We're making an animated GIF, so we don't need any audio. So we're going to drag this right down to the timeline. And so now, once we've got this on the timeline, the first thing we want to do is go ahead and stabilize the footage. So we're going to go into the effects panel on the left hand side here, and you may not see it. You might see the media browser or the project browser. Just come to the right and you'll see the effects browser listed right here, and I've just typed in STABI and it will bring up the warp stabilizer in Adobe Premiere Pro. Now we can drag that to our clip on the timeline, and it's going to do some background analysis and stabilize that footage. Now we want to change the default stabilization that we're getting here because there's still a little bit of camera movement. You can see the camera still panning down there a little bit. So we're going to double click on this and bring up the effect controls in Adobe Premiere Pro, and in here we're going to look for the warp stabilizer options, and we want to change this from smooth motion to no motion, which is basically going to try and position the camera as if it were on a tripod. So now if you look here, we have this pretty steady camera shot. There's a little bit of movement in there, but it's looking pretty good. So now what we want to do is go ahead and find the points where we're going to get this to loop. So I'm going to copy this, come to the end of my clip, so Command and C or Edit Copy to copy it, and then Edit Paste or Command or Control and V depending on whether you're on a Mac or a PC, and we're looking to see whether the join here is actually seamless. So I'm just looking for how that's playing through. So there's a little bit of static motion at the beginning of the first clip, so I'm going to trim that down. I'm just going to make a note of how many frames I trim off here. So trimming down 3 frames off the beginning of that, and I'll just snap it back to the beginning there. So you can see we get this continuous motion, and that's important because you're always kind of pulling the eye towards the motion that you're looping on. So that's looking pretty good. So now what we're going to do is delete this first clip here, pull this clip back to the beginning, so the clip that we've trimmed off at the front, and then copy that and paste that, and so now we should have a pretty good join. So let's see, yeah, a little bit of a jump, but once that's looping and in the animated GIF format, then we'll get away with it, so to speak. So I'm going to delete this second clip here. So we've got a piece of footage here now which is going to loop perfectly. So we're going to export this out. So we're going to go to File and Export, and we're going to export our media file. And then once we're in here, we're going to choose the H.264 format. Okay, we'll get it to match the source bitrate, that's all fine. It's a small image, it's 640 by 480. So in Premiere Pro we can't get the GIF format, we do need to go into Photoshop to do that. So that's why we're exporting out this MPEG-4 video first, and we'll just choose where we're going to export this out to. So straight to the desktop is fine, and then we'll export this out, and it shouldn't take very long at all to export. It's a tiny video file, and now we'll jump into Photoshop and we're going to go to File and Open and jump into the desktop. We'll look for the latest file, so I'm just changing my view there, and we'll open up this file, and Photoshop will import it, and it will detect that there's a video layer there. I'm just going to go back to my selection tool away from the brush tool that I had there, and now you can see that in Photoshop when we hit play it's looping round, and this is what we're going to turn into or export out as an animated GIF. So once we've got it in Photoshop, if we're happy with the loop, then we can go straight away to File, Export. Now, depending on whether you're working in CC or an older version of Photoshop, you'll see the Save for Web function under the Export menu or under File, Save for Web. So it could be in a couple of different places, but this is what we're looking for. And once we're in here, we've got a few different options. We're going to change this to export as an animated GIF. Okay, so we're going to change it to 128 color GIF, dithered, and we could increase this maybe to 256 to get a bit more of that richer color back in. So we've got a few more reds in there now, and you can see we've got some options for our GIF. So we've changed this to GIF, and we're going to get it to loop forever. So basically, once we hit play, the GIF is going to loop forever. If we pause that now and go to save, and we'll just export it out with the default name that Photoshop's giving us. So once that's exported out, we can jump to Google Chrome, and we'll jump into Twitter here in Google Chrome, make a new tweet, and we'll just call this animated GIF creation demo in #Premiere Pro and Photoshop. And then we'll grab the photo. So don't go to GIF here, it won't let you upload your GIF, it will just give you a list of different GIFs that you can then upload. So we can see now our GIF is listed there, it's 2.9 megabytes. Hit open, and we can now hit tweet. Our GIF will upload, and you can see from the preview that it's now gonna loop forever. So I'm pretty happy with that as a demo of an animated GIF. I hope you found it useful. If you have any questions about Premiere Pro, then don't hesitate to send me a tweet or to leave a comment in the video below. Thanks for watching.